Hello, bonjour, bonjour, mon amis. Hi, this is Meagan coming to you live from the streets of Paris, France. I just got my beautiful cafe creme delivered to me. Yeah, isn't that wonderful? I'm at this place called Cafe Cassette, and I'm here in the I think I'm in the 5th arrondissement, if I remember correctly. I actually came here for dinner last night with my friend Alain. He's someone that I met here in Paris, I think 20 some years ago, when we used to run wild through the streets of Paris. And now we're both like, we discuss business and our career goals and love and, you know, the usual things that you discuss when you're hovering around 60 years old. Politics and fascist and whatnot, right? I mean, France has a wild history with that as well, right? So anyways, I came back here because I didn't mean to come back here, but I'm doing some errands because it's my last day, and this place is totally Instagrammable because it's just full of fake flowers. But it's quite pretty. It's very pretty indeed. And it's right here on the Avenida. There's lots of umbrellas, so it's kind of hard to see. Everyone hustling and bustling. They're not going to offices, right? So what are people doing? Well, these could be tourists going to their thing. I think I'm going to give you this view. It doesn't really matter. It's not like you're here for the view. I'm here for the view. And honestly, I just got my bill. This is probably one of the most expensive cafe creme I've had here since I've been here in Paris. It's €7. And honestly, I've had better views, but I think I'm in the fancy part of town. Oh, I just got some tourists behind me. Let me adjust a little bit. There we go. So yeah, it is my last full day in Paris, and I am here to do my continuous line warm-ups. Boy, the time has just flown by, and I honestly don't want to go home. I want a few more days here because I feel like things finally clicked with my work, with my project, with my, the work I want to do. I mean, it takes what it takes, right? And I had to go through the motions of thinking about things and assessing things, and I'm going to turn this a little bit like this so you can see the street. Because I don't know, there's something about the street scenes in Paris, right? You can see the people walking by, whatever, can't see a thing. So, there was also a lot of socializing, and I probably would not do that again because I need time to think, and I cannot think unless I'm alone. So, that's another reason why it's gone by super fast. Oh, and you know what happened too is it was the autumn equinox, which I love to acknowledge these points of the year. And so with the first half of the trip, it honestly was like 80 degrees every day. And then all of a sudden it went to this. It just was, it turned cold and rain, not like freezing, but it just got, it started raining, and the leaves are falling and they're crunching in the street, and it's raining. I have to wear layers. I have to wear gloves. I have to wear my rain poncho and use my umbrella. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love autumn weather like this. But what I'm saying is it literally changed on a dime. I'm going to adjust this because I think I really want a street view. The woman that works here, she's totally giving me the evil eye, but I'm going to pretend like I don't see her. Hold on, I'm going to go right here. I don't know, something's happening here, and there's chatter behind my back, and I know I'm that crazy gringa who's talking to herself as if she's with someone, and she's not with anyone but her phone, and she's just insane because she doesn't know how to socialize anymore. So she's a social weirdo who just talks to her phone and walks the streets by herself. That is me. That is who I am. And honestly, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, right? Because I'm content in what I do. I'm content in the things I have found to pass my days. I'm content in the work that I'm building. It's a slow build, but I think I'm going to get there. I think it's going to happen, even if it is going to take longer than what I don't know. I can't even say what I hope, because it's not like I had, oh yeah, by the time I'm this age, I'm going to be, I will have made it. I don't know. I'm kind of winging this and kind of doing it step by step, right? And so I really kind of not fell into this, but it was like a way to not lose my mind. I started drawing because, it was right after my mom had passed, but it also, I was really going at it with my ex-husband, and we were having a hard time, and he kind of shut me out of things. And in order to not lose my mind and be angry and be abusive to myself, right, to not abuse myself, I started drawing, right? And now it's turned into it's my career. And that wasn't like, oh boy, how did this happen? When I started drawing, I was like, this is my thing. This is my thing, and this is what I'm going to do. I never felt more at home at doing something, right? And so it's not like I had any grand illusions of like, oh, by the time I'm this age, I will have made it, and I will be doing global things, and I'll be rich and famous. No, I never quite, it hasn't happened yet, right? And I am hopeful that things will continue to progress, especially now as I enter into the European market. And it was interesting meeting with my friend Alain last night, because he does group tours for like symphonies and musical events. So like groups in America who want to come see the Vienna Symphony, or the music event in the south of France, or marching bands in a global competition, right? And so he does the logistics and planning and management of these groups that are coming here. So like I am very small potatoes to compared to what he's doing, but he offered some good insight on like first of all, how overregulated the market is here, and how complicated things can be, especially as you get bigger, right? When you get bigger, I mean, that's like anywhere, right? When you start to make money, that's when government kind of goes, hey, what are you doing? More so than when you're just like putting little groups together, right? So, and then to enter into the European market, that's got its own set of things, issues, not even challenges, just things, right? And so I'm pretty excited. I think it'll work. What I've decided to do is not choose a hotel for people. Everyone can choose the place where they want to stay. I think just because there's so many choices, I mean, the choices here are just endless, right? And so to give everyone the option of how, where to stay and how they want to stay, like if somebody wants to bring their spouse or whatever, they can do that, and then they find their own accommodations that support their travel needs, right? Because my workshops, I don't at this point, I'm not supporting spouses in like, I'm not including them or offering anything for them to do. So really right now my workshops are just for people who artists, right, who come on my workshop. And just given everything that I've learned and discussed and realized in my 10 days here, I think there's a reason why I didn't put any new workshops on my calendar, because I had to have this epiphany of like, I need to rework things. I'm really proud of my workshops, but it's time to start reworking them a little bit. So anyways, it took what it took. I couldn't be more thrilled about being here because, I was here in my mid 30s, I guess it was. And, at that time, I didn't know who I was. I still was searching for my thing. I was still searching for my place. I mean, I still am in a way, but it was different because at that point I felt, I hadn't been married. I was hopeful that I was going to be married and maybe still have kids, and maybe I never really wanted kids, but I had all these like uncertainties, like finding a career and finding a person. I had all those hopes and dreams. I don't have those hopes and dreams anymore. I mean, it's not like I'm refusing them or negating them, but they're not my focus. Like, I wonder if he's available. Oh my God, no. I don't really care. I don't care if he's available. Because I have my focus. I have my focus, my art and my art community and my art workshops, right? And just progressing and evolving as an artist. That is really, and then to be in a city like Paris where, my God, the art and inspiration are just really, it's off the charts. I fell into a French vintage, not even French, just a European vintage poster shop, and they were all original posters. They weren't like reproductions, so it was just like the inks from the 50s, from the 40s, and I mean the colors, I'm still bedazzled by it all because it was so, I mean, it was cool. It's been cool to go to the big old museums because there's nothing like that, right? It just makes me feel so like look at me, I'm at a museum in Paris. And I can draw it, right? But to see these colors and the posters that were done in the 50s and 60s, and just talking to the owner in there, who was very kind and generous with his time, and how he said that, like no one's printed, like his printers are going out of business, and no one, I mean, they're still printing, but generally speaking, he was saying that the printing of posters, even the catalogs, is going away, right? So it's an end of an era for many things culturally, and I'm not trying to speak for France because I know nothing, right? I know nothing except for my tiny experience here, right? And so, but I can see what's happening in my own world in Mexico. You just see that things are evolving, things are changing quite rapidly too, right? Like things are changing very quickly. And newspapers are dead, and in many ways that's a good thing. Although there was something about sitting here like at a cafe reading a big old paper. I did that yesterday. I read a paper and I was like, ugh, this thing is obnoxious, right? But there is something about it, right? Seeing the date, this is of today, right? Now everything is here. Wah, things are changing. I'm getting older. Wah. I'm not even crying about it. I'm more just acknowledging it because it is strange. And it does seem like in the COVID era that we are still in, some things are just changing super quick, technologically speaking, anxiety, social ills, this whole political, I mean, it's a nightmare here too, right? Not a nightmare, but they're having issues here. Social unrest, but mostly on Saturdays because you have to schedule it. You can't just run out into the streets willy-nilly protesting and marching. And that's interesting because living in Mexico City mostly, because San Miguel is a sleepy retirement village. But in Mexico City, there's demonstrations and there's protests and there's manifestations, but mostly on the weekends because people have to go to work and get their kids to school during the week, right? And it's the same here too, like the manifestations, the protests happen on Saturday. So try not to get in your car and drive around on Saturday because you could be thwarted, right? So, and then I don't know, I don't live in the United States anymore, but I feel like people are not marching in the streets. I mean, I think it would be reported because the Republicans would be like, those Black Lives Matters are destroying the world by marching in the streets, right? Like they would make up lies around it. Even though we as Americans have a right to protest, right? But then it has now just become such a I suppose it always has been, right? Just depends on the area you live in. So, these everyone's got an angle, and then with the 24/7 news cycle of our phones, it just like it's in our face all the time, right? So that said, you may look at the news and things, some people will say, France under siege and the revolution and the resistance and manifestations. Yeah, that's true. That stuff happens, but it's beautiful. The weather in September has been divine. It was hot for the first half, and now it's autumn. Look at this. I get to wear scarves. I mean, there's nothing. This is a new scarf. Isn't it beautiful? I bought it in the street. I love the colors, right? And I don't really need these anymore. I did this morning. I'm out early, like I said. I'm on my way to the Epicurean market, grocery store that has everything French. Well, I suppose you could say that about a lot of the markets and stuff. But I'm buying a few things to bring home. I'm bringing some butter home. Vacuum packed and everything. And I just want to get some French specialties to bring home because there really is nothing like it, right? Some of the accoutrements of France, of Paris. I mean, the mustard, jams are really delightful too, but I can get pretty good jams in Mexico. I don't even eat jams that much. Once in a blue moon, I put a little something on there. Honey is good, but the honey is good in Mexico too. The butter cookies, I will say, the butter cookies are exceptional. Like make you weep. They're so good. What is that all about? And I don't think I even eat butter cookies in Mexico because Mexico is not a dairy state, right? I work with cows. There's milk production and cheese production. But it's not like here. It's not like the U.S. either, right? It's not a grassland state. So while production happens, it's not in Mexico. It's not our strong suit, right? Even meats. That's it's not really historically. Meat was not produced in Mexico, right? So, yeah, I'm going to get some things to bring home. Not a bunch. Really, the butter cookie tin, it's actually this really beautiful tin, and I want to put my art supply, some of my, pens or inks in it. So I want to get some of the French butter cookie tins. Okay, so it's full of butter cookies. I'll suffer through that, right? I mean, it's so lovely to have a little butter cookie. Oh, my God, just, in the afternoon after you've been marching around museums at the Musée d'Orsay or the Picasso, and you go, oh my, I am so exhausted. I must have a tea and a butter cookie. And I can see people looking at me like, oh, this obnoxious American, man. They're just like the worst. They talk to themselves. They think they're funny. They laugh at their own jokes. Guilty. I do. I'm laughing at my own jokes. You know what? If you can't laugh at your own jokes, whose jokes are you going to laugh at, right? Yeah. So I've almost finished my sketchbook here. I think I have 2 pages left, so I'm going to finish that today. Yeah, so I filled a 20-page sketchbook, which I'm pretty excited about that. There's inspiration around every corner, even this one. Well, here, look at this cafe. I mean, come on, this thing is off the charts. It's so cute. Look at this. Very Instagrammable. I ate here last night, and I had French onion soup because I'm not a big fan of French onion soup, but I was told it was pretty good here, and it was cold and rainy, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not probably going to order French onion. I don't think they do it right. My whole thing is I like a bone broth, a beef broth, a hearty beef broth on a cold, chilly night, and I think they're doing vegetable stocks. And too much cheese. I'm not a big fan of too much cheese. Anyways, oh, woe is me. The French onion soup wasn't to my likings, right? So, if anything, I feel like this trip kind of pushed me through. It helped me, like, it's easing some of my fears of, like, am I ready to take a workshop to Europe? Hell yeah. Hell to the bells. Yeah. Right? There's a lot of idiots bringing workshops to Europe. I mean, wait, I probably shouldn't say that online. And I'm not referring to anyone specifically, but why can't I do it, right? Why can't I do it? There are lesser skilled people than me doing it, right? And I shouldn't even say it like that. That's like negative Nancy. Anyone who throws their hat in this sort of a market, bravo, right? Because it does take some chops. It takes some logistical know-how. You got to know how to, like, build an agenda, price an agenda, market an agenda, broad publicize an agenda, and then find people who want to partake in that agenda, right? That's no small feat for anyone. So I shouldn't call anyone who's doing that an idiot, because there's no idiots out there. Well, there are, but that's a live stream for another day. So, yeah, but I guess what I was trying to say is, I guess that was sort of like saying, I'm not an idiot and I can do this, right? Like, I'm sort of a lone wolf there in Mexico. There's not a lot of people doing workshops, mostly because people think they're going to die when they go to Mexico. They do. We were laughing about that last night. In France, people think they're going to get fat when they come here, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. In Mexico, people think they're going to be murdered, and they're not. I mean, you probably have a better chance of getting shot in the United States than you do in Mexico. But let's not get into that right now, right? But yeah, people are afraid to come to Mexico. And while I have enjoyed some nice success with my workshops, I'm ready to open up to a more global market, because, time is ticking. There are places I want to go, things I want to do. And in order to do that, I have to expand my market beyond Mexico, right? I love Mexico. I'm super proud of the work I've done there and the communities that I've been a part of there. But yeah, now it's time to see the world and expand my markets. And, a lot of that just has with my own sense of timing, right? Like, I don't know how much time I have left. I don't know how much time I have left. And with whatever time I have left, I want to draw the world. I want to draw the world, right? Mexico has been a great place for me to cut my teeth and build my brand, right? And now, oh my God, now it's the European years, and I couldn't be more thrilled about that. So as a reminder, I finished big with a heart to go easy on myself and easy on others, to remind myself I'm not an idiot and others are not idiots either. I apologize for saying that, because that was pretty rude. Anyone who's trying to make a go at it in this world, in this crazy world, anyone who's trying to be an artist, and I'm not even talking about like selling my art, but just like being an artist in this world, a world that can be a little bit like, oh, you think you're an artist? Well, where do you sell your artwork, right? There's a lot of jaded misbeliefs about being an artist, right? Even just like people being called an artist and how they flinch, right? I see that in my drawing community when somebody is called an artist and it doesn't quite resonate with their beliefs. even though it should, looking from the outside looking in, it should resonate, but it can trigger a lot of people's like self-worth. Like, I'm not an artist. I'm just, I just practice, right? I just practice. Well, I mean, even Picasso, all he did was he practiced his whole life, right? He was practicing new techniques, new mediums his whole life. He never said he was practicing. He was an artist. He was a man. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the gender thing, but I really do believe men have an easier go at it than women, because when a man decides he's going to be an artist, they're like, oh, he's an artist now, right? It depends a lot on their self-worth, but, women, it can be like, oh, I have to take care of everyone, and then I have to take care of everyone, and then, oh yeah, and by the way, if I have a little time left, I'm going to be an artist, right? I would like to say I don't have that problem. I don't have children. I don't have a husband. And so I don't have a lot of obligations to, I don't even have a dog, right? And I want a dog. I don't like being obligation free. It just happens to be because of my travel schedule. That's just how it is. But, with women, they tend to have to, take care of everything. So, honestly, when you're talking about, living in San Miguel, many of the women who end up in San Miguel come to San Miguel, come there because they have the time to do the thing they want to do. The family has, the kids are grown, they've left the house, the husband is left to either death or divorce or whatever, right? Not always. Sometimes husbands get dragged to San Miguel. But honestly, by and large, it is the women coming to reinvent themselves. It's a community that is good. The cost of living is a little bit lower. At least it used to be. I know things are changing. And honestly, I really don't think the prices are not as bad here as in San Francisco is off the charts. But honestly, I have found the pricing here to be not as bad as I was bracing for the worst, and it's really not bad. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not San Francisco, right? So I was pleasantly surprised on the prices. This is my expensive latte, €7. Oh my God! But it's the neighborhood. I'm in the ooh la la. Now I'm going to get out of here. So, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the women of San Miguel, they go there because it's a community that's easier to reinvent yourselves and to start anew. And whereas in a city like this, or a city in the United States, the cost of living will just strangle you to death. And I mean, unless you really managed a well-funded life, it may be a little challenging to live in an American city as you get older, right? That's not to say plenty aren't, but San Miguel has been good for women to come and reinvent themselves. And that is what I have done too. I reinvented myself there, and now I am ready for the world. Want to come with me? Yeah. All right, everyone. Really, thank you for your support during this trip. Thanks for telling your stories and drawing your lines and being a part of this awesome community. Super cool. I didn't even realize I had an ashtray with a cigarette in front of me. I hate smoking. And I don't really see a lot of it here. You see a little bit, but it's not like every other person is smoking. It's like every 10th person is smoking, más o menos. So, anyways, really excited. I don't want to go home, but I have to go home. And then I'm not going to say the real work because I've been working here, but the, kind of a hunkering down work of really I got to put some agendas on the calendar. I got to make some plans. I got to create some buzz, create some events. And that's what I'm going to do when I get home. More new workshops will be on the calendar. I'll continue with my online class, my Zoom classes. October starts, I think, next week, if I remember correctly. And so thanks so much for being a part of this community. Keep telling your stories. Finish big with a heart. Go easy on yourself. Go easy on others. Thanks for watching me here in Oh La La, Paris. And I'll see you back in Mexico. Well, I don't want to go back. I want to stay here. I want to stay here like 5 more days. But it's time to go. So I'll see you all next time. Keep telling your stories. Bye. Au revoir. Au revoir. Ciao.